What's up, y'all? Another episode of Shoe Buddy Sports, Tuesday night, 8:44 p.m. Central Time, January 10th. Lots to talk about. College football playoff, NFL playoff start this weekend. First off, I'm your host, Graham Powell, co-host Bradley Brown. Say hello, Bradley.
What's happening?
What's your hat this week?
It's a Razorback hat.
What's on the
It's a
front,
little,
though? It's like a black four-leaf clover. Okay.
yeah, that's the name of the company, Black Clover.
Oh, that's a dope name. That's a good company name. Is that your shtick now? Like a new hat every week? Does that become your shtick?
No, I think I've worn this hat before. I just have
Yeah.
a problem with hats. So,
There's nothing wrong. There are worse problems to have. Beats heroin, right? Or meth. All
yeah,
right. So, yeah, Graham Powell, Bradley Brown. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Rhino Races. Rhino
don't
Races
do
is a
drugs,
virtual,
kids.
yes, that. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. Visit rhinoraces.com for details. How it works is you can sign up for one or all 5 of their races there on the website, rhinoraces.com. Uh, Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app, screenshot your results, submit those results at rhinoraces.com. And in the submit results section, once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Free shipping on all orders. Also, check out their gear section for t shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. Again, rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races, the premier virtual running series. Okay, so national championship game last night wasn't much of a game, to say the least. Did you watch the entire thing?
I had it on. I don't know if I watched every play, but yeah, I had it on. There wasn't anything else on TV. But yeah, it was kind of a I wouldn't say kind of, it was a big bummer. So,
Yeah, you were pulling for TCU, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care. I honestly didn't care. I thought it would be a good story either way. But it was all dogs last night. And I did watch the entire thing. I might have stepped into the kitchen, a time or two just to grab something because it's like, well, what's going to happen? And Stetson threw another touchdown pass or something whenever I did that, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But what a way to go out for him, man. People were saying last year before the championship game, he was like the weak link in the chain. Kind of after the SEC championship, he turned that around in the national championship game last year, beating Alabama, and now he's been a strength all season for them, and he was last year too. It's just he caught a lot of flack. Just I don't know. I would say unnecessarily so. I didn't watch their games under a microscope, so I can't point out exactly. Other than he just doesn't have your measurements, or your resume that people want to see their quarterbacks have. Dude's a straight up baller, balled
Yeah.
out for 2 years, legend now forever. Uh, Hollywood script. It's really not even a Hollywood script because Hollywood say this is just too unrealistic, or it's too there's where's the adversity? The adversity is there. He had to overcome a lot to just get the job. I didn't realize he had transferred. I didn't realize he had transferred to like a JUCO
Yeah, and
and
came back.
and won a national championship at the JUCO level. Yeah, and then came back, wins the job, and then wins two natties there at Georgia. So hell
Wow.
of a hell of a
Three natties.
college career, man. Yeah, it's it's a dope ending for him. He couldn't go out any better. Couldn't have played any better than he did. Gosh, 65-7,
Yeah, there's a lot
largest.
of points scored. I mean, hell, Georgia covered the over by themselves, and that was a pretty high over.
I'd say a lot of
Um,
points scored by Georgia.
yeah,
TCU could do nothing. I mean, I knew on the third drive, like TCU's outmatched. They just can't.
yeah,
They just can't do anything.
yeah. I remember, yeah, early in the game, whenever it was 10-0 Georgia, and then TCU went down there and scored a touchdown. I was like, oh crap, we have a game. Man,
That
was
was
I wrong?
that was it.
Like that was it. That was their one and only shot. And then
Well,
yeah, dude. Did they even win the coin toss? I mean,
uh, I don't think so because Georgia got the ball at the second half. Because that was my thing
Dude,
when Georgia went down and scored before the half, I was like, if they score here, it's over. Like
yeah.
there's no shot. And of course they did, and then they get the ball in the second half, and
Dude,
no,
whenever they put in the third or the second and third stringers and they lit him up, I was like, that's a low point. Because those second and third stringers are just fired up because hell, it might be their only shot in a national title game. So they're going to try and make a big play. And holy crap, dude.
I'm gonna say the backup quarterback looked
Dude.
pretty good, right? I mean, he
Oh,
looked at he just had he has a
he could have been at Arkansas.
goodie. I
Oh,
don't
you
know
talking
anything
about?
about the guy.
I'm talking about TCU. Their backup quarterback was Chad
No,
Morris's son.
yeah, I knew that. No,
I thought you were talking about that guy. I was like, yeah,
I
true.
would know nothing about TCU looked good last night. Um, no, Georgia's backup looked good.
Oh yeah,
And he has just a quarterback name. They said his name Carson Beck. I was like, gosh, just sounds like a quarterback. Just
he's
sounds like
huge.
yeah, he just well, he's tall, I
Yeah,
guess. Looked
like
pretty
six
thin.
seven. I mean,
I
it's a
didn't
pretty
know
big
that.
guy.
Well, he looked like he can throw. I don't know, man. Georgia doesn't look like they're going to have too much drop off next year. I mean, you're going to miss Stetson, but I mean, this guy behind him, I'm
Do you
sure
think
he
they can
can.
three-peat?
I think Vegas has him as the favorite. We'll see, man. That's hard to do. If you're going to do it now, it's probably going to be easier now than when they expand to 12 teams. What the year after this one?
Yeah.
I think it is. I mean, Vegas has them as the favorite. Of course, Bama's going to be up there. Who knows what they're going to have? I mean, other than just plug in more 5 stars, right? But yeah, it was Stetson went out the way you would want to go out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a heck of an you can't have a better ending than that.
Did you hear where Saban has booked hotels for the next 10 years at all the national championship sites? So even if they don't make the game, he's still going to be there commentating. So Alabama will be present at the national championship for the next 10 years. Hooray for
Yeah,
everyone.
it's well, I mean, that's just his little way of saying I'm still the face of college football. And that's
Yeah.
just it. And that's a little somebody was like, what was he doing there? I mean, that's another little recruiting tool, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm not gonna be in the game, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna put my face everywhere. And you see him even in like interviews, um, like halftime, post game interviews. He's like he'll look at the camera and talk as he's answering a question. I think he's the only coach that does that. He'll he'll speak to the reporter a little bit and then he'll look in the camera and start answering the question, looking directly into the camera. This is all just little tricks, just these little recruiting tools that he's picked up just along this goat journey, of college coaching.
Yeah. Speaking of recruiting, you see where Lincoln Riley was roaming the sidelines before the game?
I
It's
did,
like, get
but
the hell off the sideline.
yes, but isn't that
Ain't
his
getting any
bro?
transfers.
Wasn't that his brother? Like that was the
I don't
OC
care.
for TC? Is it? Because I didn't even know that. I was like, is that Lincoln Riley's
Dude,
brother or something? Like it's got to
I
be.
don't know. But
But I
tell him
assume
to get
that
the
was
hell
why
away
he
from
was
my
there.
sideline.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's like,
he.
no, we ain't helping out your poor defense. Get out of here.
But I mean, that's what it looked like to me. Just like he's just there with his brother or something. I guess whatever he was. It's got to be the guy's brother. I don't know. But okay, I heard this question today on the Dan Patrick show, and it's and at first I was like, I don't know, but then I really had to kind of think about it. Who had the better season, TCU or Michigan?
TCU, man, they made it to the national championship.
I agree with that. But a lot of people were saying Michigan just because
No,
you beat Ohio State for the second straight time. You won your conference championship.
man, I guess they did have a good year. They finally won a bowl game under Jim Harbaugh. I mean,
They won a bowl game.
that was his first bowl win.
No. Uh,
Yeah, he lost. My bad.
yeah, I was like, no. I was
He
like,
is, yeah.
what? He won the
Trick.
conference championship game. He did not win the bowl game.
I was thinking back to Ohio State, but brain got mixed up because Ohio State was in there as well. So stupid brain. But
but man, it's just it was a whole combination of Georgia's the better team, TCU's outmatched. Georgia's been there before and it
Yep.
showed, and TCU, it looked like the moment was too big for them. It was all that combined into one, and you see a 65-7 game as a result.
How sad do you think it is that all the Ohio State fans are crying that they could have won the national title?
I mean, they can cry all they want. It's yeah, they still lost the game. I mean, they lost the
Yeah.
game. Like they played their best game pretty much.
Yep.
Georgia was off. Georgia was having an off game, and
Yep.
Georgia still found a way to win. That's what champs do, man. They just find a way.
So do you see the question on Twitter who had or who's the better team, the 2019 LSU or this Georgia team? Who would win?
Well, nobody would stop LSU's offense.
Yeah, I'm still rolling with
Um,
LSU. Like,
I can't say for sure. I don't think LSU. I don't think that LSU team is the best team. Um, that's the best offense,
yeah,
but they. I mean, it's Kirby Smart's going to outcoach Orgeron, but you're still not. He's still not going to stop. Burrow and Jefferson and Chase. You're not going to. I mean, you don't. It doesn't matter how good of a defensive coach you are. You're not going to stop that. It's like
no,
it's like a great NBA offensive player. It doesn't matter how good of a defender you are, how good of defense you play. You're not going to stop Kevin Durant from scoring.
unless you
You're not.
fall on his leg.
I guess you're not going to legally or you know legally or you're not going to stop him the normal way of playing basketball,
Yeah,
legal and yeah, not hurting the guy, um, excluding hurting the guy. But that's a good question. I don't know, man. That Georgia team's really good. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Georgia team's really good, but nobody's stopping that LSU offense either. It would be a shoot. I
no,
mean, it would not be 65-7. It'd be 65-68.
sick. Yeah,
You know,
something like that.
whatever
You-
the math is there.
Oh,
But
man,
yes,
oh
it
man.
that that's a I don't know. It's a good question. We'll get to some NFL predictions here soon, but okay, as far as I did see a stat. The SEC has now won 13 of the last 17
Yeah,
national championships, dating back to 2006, of course, when Florida won its first of two. And I had to really think of I had to think for a second because I knew Clemson, I knew the other two were Clemson, 16, 18. And I was like, okay, Florida State 13, I believe, and then Ohio State. I kind of took me a minute to remember them. Zeke and that crew. But yeah, SEC dominance. Those top tier teams that have won it, I think that fan base has the right to kind of wave that flag, the SEC banner. Schools like Arkansas and them need to kind of keep quiet. Just be glad that you're in the same conference.
yeah, yeah.
And you had a winning record this year. You didn't have a winning bowl or conference record, but you had a winning record. Something to be proud of, as far as I'm concerned. Have my decaf coffee sip in there. But yeah, fun college football season. Look forward to the next one. Moving on to basketball now, though. Um, okay, Arkansas plays. I think they host Alabama tomorrow night. Is that right?
That is correct. And I'm this close to maybe buying a ticket.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go to that one. If Brazil and Nick Smith were playing, I would most definitely go.
Definitely.
But I don't. They couldn't throw it in the ocean last week. Was it last Wednesday
Yeah, they couldn't have fell off the boat and hit the ocean last week.
or Saturday?
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday, yeah, yeah. They could not buy a bucket Saturday against Auburn, and Auburn's just kind of that's become like a rivalry. Those two don't like each other, and I get it from the Arkansas side. Um, and like coming out and dancing on your logo last year.
Oh,
And then
they've
I
only been good for like 2 seasons. I mean, and they think they're hot shit. So
That's
I can see
true.
it.
Yeah. But it's become very chippy between the two schools, and yeah, it makes for fun games.
Yeah.
But Auburn really, and that's the thing. Arkansas played terrible, and it's not like Auburn just clobbered them. I kept looking up. I was like, how is it only a 10-point game? It should be like a 30-point blowout right now.
Yeah.
As bad as Arkansas played. But I mean, yeah, Auburn got it done. And without Brazil and without Nick Smith and then without being able to hit a three, you're gonna have games like that.
Like
The only
whenever I,
guy, the only guy that can shoot, from what I can tell, like beyond the arc, is Pinion.
yeah,
He's the only one that seems to be able to do that consistently, and he's not out there enough. I cringe every time. Again, said this over and over again. Love that he's on. Love that he's a hog, but I cringe every time Devo takes a shot. Every single time, like, oh, there's a waste of possession.
yeah,
Every now and then he'll surprise you, but it's just every now and then. He is not a consistent shooter. He
no.
consistently misses them, but he just that's not his game. And yeah, it's going to be, if they don't find an answer for that, it's going to be a long season, for the
Yep,
Hogs.
especially if they can't figure out that damn zone. Dear God.
They just need to figure out how to buy a bucket. Just spend the whole practice just shooting or something. I don't know. I mean, that's not their game. I mean, that's not their strength, obviously.
No.
But that's what it is. It's still a pretty decent team, though. That's the thing. Like, it's still a pretty good team even without Smith and Brazil. It
This
it
kind of
just
I don't know, and this kind of like the Hogs MO last couple seasons, get off to a slow start and then get on a heater towards the end of the season.
yes, but this is a little different. This is a younger team, and this was a highly touted freshman group and big time transfer in Brazil. The top recruit has barely seen the court because of knee management. And your top transfer out for the year with a torn ACL, which you don't see a lot in basketball, or at least, of course, not as often as you would in football.
Hmm.
So a huge bummer for. I mean, it's just far as injury. I mean, injuries have killed this team already, and we're barely into January. Like, we're just started conference play,
Yep.
and injuries have already just disrupted this team, man. It's gonna be a tough year. Alabama, on the other hand, looks primed to be the SEC champions. Tennessee's going to give them a run from the looks of things, but from what I've seen, Alabama looks like the team to beat, and they're already like battle tested.
Yeah.
Taking on. I mean, I don't think there's anyone that had a tougher non-conference schedule than them. If so, I'd like to see it. I haven't seen Tennessee in it, play, so I can't really. I don't have a opinion on that other than history and the fact that they are just continuously winning. But what happened to Kentucky? Kentucky loses tonight. 28 game home winning streak snapped to South Carolina.
Yeah, they got their doors blown off tonight, didn't they? It's like 21-8. Like
21 to
last
8.
time I see 21-8 and like midway through the first half.
Oh,
Like,
well, still pretty early in the game at that
well,
point,
it
so
was
I
like,
don't
hell, it
know.
might have been 28-8. Hell, I don't know, but it's still against Kentucky. You just don't see that. Like,
Well, the thing that showed it to me was Alabama beating the brakes off of them on Saturday, I believe it was. I mean, Alabama beat them by 30.
yeah, but that was at, oh, well, yeah, true. They
Doesn't
have
matter
excuse
where
that
it's
that was
at.
a road game, yeah.
Doesn't matter
But
where it's at. Kentucky lost by 30. It shouldn't matter where it's at. Like that.
we
That's
play them
that's
twice this
wild.
season, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep.
They usually do.
Yep.
So I do. I look forward to that. But I mean, then again, I mean, who are we going to have out there playing? And if we can't hit a shot, it doesn't matter who we're playing. But we'll see what happens tomorrow night. I do look forward to the game. I am going to tune in, check it out. Just so hopefully they make a game out of it. I think Alabama will win it no matter what, but I'd at least like to see a competitive game. Okay, moving on to let's go to pro football here. First of all, you got a fantasy football championship to celebrate, don't you?
Yes, yes, I do. My league, because I was in enough leagues. I was in 3 leagues.
Yeah, like
Um, the one league, we'll recap. The one league I got started off in, I think 5 or 6-0. Uh, Great start. Missed the playoffs.
it can happen.
I've never seen it done before, in any of my leagues at least. So of course I'd be the one to do it. The league that I was top scorer in, my team shit the bed in the first round of the playoffs, and I lost, and then won the rest of my consolidation bracket and outscored everybody else that was in the champions bracket. So that made me feel real nice. No money there. And the league that I got off to the worst start in is the one I ended up pulling a championship out. Regular season record 8-6, and got that championship.
Okay, the last fantasy football championship I won, I've won two of them. And the last one was like 3 years ago. I was 7-6, I think, at the end of the regular season. But like the whole league was like the best record was like 9-4 or something, and the worst
Mm,
record was like a like a 4-win team. And then everybody else was like me, like 7-6 or 6-7 or 5-8, um, 8-4, that type of like everybody was like it was a very, very like competitive league, like very well balanced,
hmm
lots of parity. And it was and I won it by like making like two big like free agency moves like right before the playoffs, and then ended up winning it. I was like, okay, that put me over the top. I'm the better team. And yeah, that's how I got done. My fantasy football team was awful this year. Of course, lose the last game, consolation round. Fantasy basketball team, the Western University Dolphins are absolutely lighting it up though. 4-0, kicking ass this week. Yeah, so I at least have that going for me.
Yeah, I did luck out in my championship though, because it was a 2-week matchup, and the first week of the final game, of course, is when Damar Hamlin went down and they canceled that game. I had 3 players in that game. Think that by midway through the first quarter, they scored a total of 10 points. Since it was canceled, they axed those 10 points like an hour before kickoff on the new week.
Yeah,
And I ended up winning by 6 points, or no, 4.5 points.
I had
So
Josh
I
Allen
should have murdered him.
and
But
somebody else, Dawson Knox. I had those two, but my game didn't matter. I was gonna probably would have lost anyway. Would have been more competitive. Like I said, it wasn't even in the actual playoffs, so who cared? I didn't care.
yeah.
Um,
And somehow this season, or I wouldn't say this season, but somehow this year, I found myself in a fantasy horse racing league.
wow, I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either.
Shouldn't be surprised.
Somebody invited me, and I was like, "Can I win some money? How much does it cost? It's not that expensive." And yeah, it helped me learn a little bit more about horse racing. So
My uncle would. I got to tell him about it. He probably wouldn't do like the fantasy electronic stuff, but he is a big time into horse racing. Of course, living down in Hot Springs, that's going to be
oh yeah,
your thing. But yeah, I did not know that was a thing. That's
me
awesome.
neither.
I mean, I'm not surprised. It should
I'm sure
be.
I'm just gonna donate $20 to this group of friends. So
Yeah, could be learning experience though.
yeah,
Hey, give us some. We're gonna have to get some updates on that as it goes. Just because I'm curious. All right, so we'll do some playoff prediction stuff going on here. I don't think that made any sense what it just came out of my mouth. We're gonna do some
playoff
playoff.
prediction stuff.
Yeah, and then I added some more stuff that just spit out. I don't even know how that happened, but anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that. Okay, Seahawks and 49ers. Okay, first of all, did Lions Packers. How about the Lions getting a
Loved it.
winning record, eliminating the Packers from playoff contention? Dan Campbell going for it at the end of the game. Like, no, we're not even going to give you, we're not even give you a chance to go tie it. We're going to win
Love
it
it.
now, and just 5 out, and then just boom, hit that out right there. Dude, Jared Goff is, I mean, he's found a home in Detroit, man. Dan Campbell,
Yeah.
dude, I'm big on him. I mean, just turn the worst franchise in the league, worst roster into they're not the worst roster anymore, by the way. But that's what he started out with, and started the year what 1-6, I believe it was, and then finished the year 9-8.
But
Wow,
during that one
just
and
missed
six
the
run
playoff.
though, they were one possession losses, most of them, and they were scoring some points, putting up them fantasy numbers.
Yeah, it
So
was close games. I mean, Jamal Williams broke Barry Sanders,
yeah,
single season touchdown
who would have
record.
thought, man?
Yeah, granted, you do have an extra game, to be fair, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, that's it's still going to go down that way, and
Hell, they
it's
might
still,
have 2 extra games for whenever Sanders played. I mean,
it was like 91. Um, I think they were playing 16 then, but still, I mean, you're still it's still going to go down as you're the single season record holder in that, statistic.
I'd still take Barry Sanders.
I'd take Barry Sanders over any running back ever, but yeah, nobody's saying we'll take Jamal Williams, but yeah, still, it's
Probably take him
that
next year
just
in the fantasy draft.
yeah, I had him on my bench.
Late round, not too early, but
Yeah, but it was yeah, awesome end of the season for them. Like even though that yeah they didn't get to the playoffs. I mean 9-8,
I,
eliminate the Packers from playoff contention. That's like a
dude,
trophy game in itself.
I
Maybe
loved it.
sent Aaron Rodgers into the sunset.
Yeah, well, they didn't send him into the sunset. Probably put him out of Green Bay, but I loved it. Everybody's like, "Oh, they gave Aaron too much time. He's gonna go down there and score interception." Up, it's game. I was like, "Oh, love it. That's gonna be Aaron Rodgers' last play as a Packer is throwing an interception. Awesome."
Yeah,
But
well, and I think that guy was a rookie, and that was the third time he picked him off this year too. And nobody like Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw picks, and that guy got him 3 times this year.
yeah,
I mean, that's a and like you were
it's
talking
probably
about,
the
there were close
ayahuasca or
games.
whatever you call it.
Ayahuasca,
Ayahuasca. Yeah, it's the
yeah,
ayahuasca's fault.
well, that's for lovers. So, uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's the
I
only
got. I
time,
got. Okay.
the only time we can say lovers on this show. But it was, yeah. I mean, wild year for end of the year for. I mean, it looked like the Packers were going to squeak their way in, and but
Oh,
I didn't think it
team
was
of
a gimme.
destiny. Yeah. I knew it wasn't a gimme. Two teams hate each other. So
Well, and the lines are legit. Like
yeah.
you said, even in those losses, I mean, teams were like, we don't want to play the lines because it's physical and
Dude. Seahawks just had to ruin their day though. But
yes, they did. All right. So speaking of Seahawks, they're going to San Francisco Saturday, 3:30 p.m. game on Fox
it's gonna be nasty.
in San Francisco. What like
Oh, it's not gonna be close.
okay, I
It's
was
gonna
like, what
be
are
a
you
beat
talking about?
down.
Like the conditions or I don't know, man. It's playoff football, man. You never know. I mean, Seattle's no
Dude,
slouch team.
I know, but I'm saying at least 2 possessions.
Okay. I'm going to pick the 49ers. I don't know by how much, but I mean, Brock Purdy is going to he's going to continue the Purdy party. And yeah, I got the 49ers in that one. Sounds like you do too.
Yep.
I'm excited about the evening game Saturday. Uh, Chargers at Jacksonville. I mean, those Jaguars fans,
Dude.
they have rolled out. That was another fun game. Defense won it for them.
Hmm.
Neither offense could really do anything. Yeah, defense won that one. Um, yeah, Jaguars or Chargers, two really. I mean, just like okay, there's like five, and I heard Cowherd say this on his show. There's five guys that he wouldn't pick up the phone for if he were a GM and somebody were calling about a trade. He wouldn't even take the phone call. Of course, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and the other two, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. I agree
Yep.
with that.
Yep.
I agree with that 100%. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Oh, gosh.
Dude, it's that. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville just because of home field.
Yeah, gosh, that's a tough one to pick. That's really kind of a toss up game. I mean, Vegas, I'm sure, is going to go with Chargers. And I like Jacksonville's defense, but yeah, I don't think you're going to stop Herbert.
That game has a 2.5 point spread all over it.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's gonna be, but yeah.
I like this Jacksonville team, but I think just them getting there this year in year 2 under Trevor Lawrence, first year, Doug Peterson, I think they've overachieved some. I'm going to go Chargers in that one. Not by much. I think it'll be a
They
close
were in it.
game.
Chargers were in it last season, right?
No, they weren't in the playoffs last year.
Oh.
Um, okay. All right, Sunday game, noon game, Bills and Dolphins. I'll take Bills in that. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Dolphins right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Like, it's not
true.
going to be Tua, is it? Is he? I mean, he's not going to play,
They
is
still
he?
haven't said. I mean,
Would you play him, even if he gets cleared? Are you playing him?
no. I mean, that's
Yeah,
your franchise. I mean, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't
But they
either.
probably will. They'll probably roll him out there.
I don't think they will. I don't think Mike McDaniel's gonna. I don't think he would do that. I really like him as a coach. If anything, his sound bites and his interviews are my favorite.
Yeah.
Um, Somebody mentioned something about Dolphins possibly moving on from him after this year if it ends poorly. I'm like, you kidding me?
It's yeah,
Like, no,
not
you
smart.
keep that guy around. But yeah, I'll go with the Bills in that one. Okay, Vikings Giants. This
It's it's
is this is
it's not
harder
a
to
1 p.m.
predict.
game, so I don't know.
It's not. It's 3:30 though. It's at least not a primetime game. But
Yeah,
this is playoff Kirk Cousins, and it's
this is
not 1
true.
p.m. like you said. And the Giants are, they come from the toughest division, maybe in football, right?
Yeah.
So weird to say, still, but yeah, Vikings or Giants.
I'm 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 gonna roll with the Giants, man. I'll go for the upset on that one.
Is that really an upset though? Like the Vikings are
The
the
biggest
worst.
frauds versus the Giants. I
The
don't know.
Vikings
It's
have
just
got to be the
like
worst 13-4 team ever. Of course, there haven't been many 13-4 teams. I'll say 4 loss team going into the playoffs, but they're by far the worst.
yeah, agree with that.
Oh gosh, that's a tough one for me to. And they ended like the week prior. Justin Jefferson held to like 1 catch, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, because the fantasy,
Minnesota
gurus
did
were
get to
losing their
rest a lot
minds.
of did get to rest some players last week. I don't think the Giants did.
They still played their guys though. I mean, they still played to win. I can't even remember who they played, but it was. I mean, they were playing some of those guys. I'm gonna go. Man, I still don't. I'm unsure about that. I'll go Vikings. I don't feel good about it. I feel terrible about it. Like I feel awful about that. I don't feel good about it at all. But I'll take the Vikings there. Okay, Ravens and Bengals. Maybe Lamar's gonna play. Even if he does, I'm taking Burrow and crew.
Yep.
That is a 4 loss team I feel real good about. Cincinnati. If I'm the Chiefs, that's the one team I don't want to see. Chiefs, of course, getting a bye along with Philadelphia. Chiefs looking really good right now. Philly limped their way in to that 1 seed. So this Philly team almost looks like a shell of its early self right now, thanks to the injury bug, etc., which is usually how it goes. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to go Bengals in that, whether Lamar is playing or not. Sounds like you're doing the same.
Yeah, that's a safe assumption. Yeah. Definitely rolling with Joe Cool.
Yeah. And okay, and I do like that there's a Monday night playoff game. I love that. All right, Cowboys at Tampa Bay. You're 8-9 NFC South champs, division champs. Uh, But Dallas did not. I mean, they did not look good Sunday.
They
They did not
haven't
look good
they
at all.
haven't looked good in the past couple of weeks.
Well, Dak has the league high in interception thrown, and he missed 5 games. So that kind of tells you all you need to know. But yet they're 12-5. You know,
Oh man,
12 and
I've
5
I've
and
had a
in the
lot of
playoff.
sad coworkers the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I like Dak. I want to see him do well, but he is
Yeah,
not. He is not. He has not played well. His detractors have had plenty of ammo this season. I
but
think
they're also
everybody's
going up
right.
against a team that's really not hasn't looked that well, for half the season. So
Uh, almost all the season. I
yeah,
mean, they just have not. I mean, Tampa
they're
is
barely
just
above
not.
500. Man,
They're not above 500. They're 8-9.
oh shit, yeah, my dyslexia
Yeah,
kicked in. I thought it was 9-8,
but
but
they clinched the division last week, so it didn't matter.
yeah,
Or the week before last, so it didn't matter. That that's another one that's not so easy for me to pick. I'm going to go Dallas though. I just don't
I'm
think
going.
Tampa Bay is a good team.
I'm going Tampa. Brady's not going to win the Super Bowl, but he's going to kick them Cowboys out of the playoffs.
He's never lost to Dallas. That's a key stat. Never lost
Oh,
to Dallas,
you just jinxed him. Dang.
including the season opener. Remember that? I think it was the Sunday night football game or the Monday night football game. It was Dallas and Tampa, and Dallas looked awful. Like they looked. I mean, granted that was 18 weeks ago now, but yeah, I mean Dallas looked terrible. And but Tampa didn't look very good either. They looked very rusty, but they found a way to win it.
Also,
I,
Tom was going through a divorce at the time, so or not. He was leading up to the divorce at the
it,
time.
it
He had
was yeah,
distractions.
it wasn't public.
Yeah.
It wasn't public, but it was happening. That's fair. I just don't think it's a very good team. Uh yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas in that just because I think Zeke and Pollard. That's the main reason. It's not Dak. It's definitely not
No,
Dak because
no.
he looked terrible against that Tampa team. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cowboys in that. We'll see how we did, but yeah. And NBA game real quick. The one after that I don't see. Okay, it started. Warriors and Suns playing right now. Steph is back. Of course, Devin Booker's on the bench for the next 3 weeks, I believe it is. But yeah, Steph returning tonight, so maybe the Warriors can get back on track with him. We'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna go check this game out. It's time for us to get out of here. So it's been fun. It's been real. Congrats to the Dogs on a second straight natty, and we're going to move on to playoff football now. So until then, we're gonna get out of here. Host Grandpal Bradley Brown.
That's me, Brad Brown.
All right, deuces, y'all.
Peace.